Hello peeps and hello peppers and welcome to Miðvikudags Manatee, the Wednesday whatever sea creature. Of course I will also draw a proper manatee on this little notepad that I found on sale. But people who know me usually know that I adhere to the theory that my favorite fossil, the Desmostillion, is both a relative of the manatee, basically a Sirenian on feet, and the model for the Fjörulalli sea monster in northern Iceland. No, I'm not on mushrooms, but I like the mushroom lamps here. Gives a cozy light. I don't know what happens if this pair ever pair. Okay, like in both Icelandic and German, it's called sort of like a pair. Okay, if this light bulb ever breaks, my English today, I don't know if you then can replace it. Because this lamp was relatively cheap and mass produced, but I still like the pattern and like especially for these long Icelandic winter nights. And spoiler, we don't actually have manatees in Iceland. Most people who see a manatee on a picture, or even when the subtitles for the TV are made, people think the manatee is a seal. But it's not, because the closest land animal to a seal is a bear. I actually learned that recently. And I love odd facts about nature. And the closest land-dwelling relative of the manatee is tada, the elephant, and the dassy, also called hyrax. Or like one of my favorite German words, Klippschliefer, sort of like cliff sleeper. I don't know if it sleeps on a cliff, but it can also provide a lot of odd facts about nature. And of course, since the Klippschliefer, hyrax, and so on also has some odd behaviors, I put some of these odd behaviors towards my sea monster descriptions as well. I've already been a zoology nerd when I was like 5-6 years old. And I always had the hope that if ever someone threatened me, I would just annoy them with animal facts as long as needed until they would leave me alone. Elephants actually have wrinkles in order to drain the rainwater or something. At least that's what a person at a zoo told me. But yeah, elephants descend from a semi-aquatic animal that then totally went into the water here, and like in the case of the manatee, and totally went on dry land, but still likes mud and so forth. In the case of the elephant, and elephants don't cry because they're sad, but because they have to discharge water because they descend from an aquatic animal. And this animal, it's my understanding that it lived in swamps. And that makes perfect sense, because there are also like elephant species that are found in swamp strata of fossils. Remind me to draw you a Platybelodon at some point. I hope you are not annoyed yet, because I want to keep you here on this channel for a little bit. This is a channel for people who want to talk about autism, spatial interests, creativity, and penpalling. seriously, I had an email communication with someone from the local post service today about how to make the post service more disability accessible, and actually that was well taken. I have multiple disabilities, so I don't have a regular job, and I have to rely on public services of all kinds to work in a way that I understand and can give feedback to. And like just today, I had several incidences of how important it is to actually talk to a person rather than a computer, because in computers there can also be outdated, misleading, or overwhelming informations where I can't ask a person back. So like this is where I actually really like Iceland for its smallness, because you usually still find a person to explain their service to you. Like when I talked to the German post because I had problems. Like, of course, I'm not talking to the post about my private problems, God forbid, but like problems with sendings. The you could phone a hotline, but nobody picked up, and you could send them no email, and you could send them like no Facebook. And many of my pen pals who also had problems with this hotline and social media channel and whatnot, they didn't feel taken seriously. And it was sort of like let's say people in that service chain were sort of like the sea monster. You could not totally be sure if they existed. So even though this may seem more expensive to companies, and of course I'm very optimistic there because I'm just one humble pen paler and one very small YouTube community. If I ever manage to start my own business, I will make sure that the customers will always get to talk to people. Because I also still remember the story when there was COVID and we had a friends meeting, international, like on computer telephone software. Then a person who worked in a supermarket actually told the rest of the group that, well, there were so many restrictions on going out that the same people actually showed up in a supermarket multiple times per day just to have a human soul to talk to. And actually, so pen paling is my way of having guests when I don't have the energy to physically have them hang around a little bit. Yeah, again, like the sea monster, because the sea monster seems to live under the surface most of the time, but sometimes then it also seems to sit on a rock or walk the shore. When the so-called shore laddie, this particular type of sea monster in the Icelandic legend, walks the shore, I'm actually thinking of like probable animals that go into biospheres that are not their own because of climate change. Like, let's think of the walrus that sat on a human boat because it didn't have anywhere else to go. And well, I'm still sad to hear that the people unalived the poor walrus. I think I would have tried to direct it back to a better place where it could live, but I am not the nature officers, and all I can do is write books. Hey, light the lanterns, everyone here. I can this paper from this little folder is so thin that it that I can make a lantern out of the sea monster. Yes, and I hope that my sea monster book that I will complete in November, NaNoWriMo, will shine a light to inspire people to take care of the nature. But okay, it's not November yet. October is, so I learned from a YouTube company about Iceland. It's one of the really good months to travel to Iceland because you still have 10 hours of daylight. You also have a lot of rain. Please, if you come here, for God's sake, pack a little bit of everything. It's my understanding that you can't bring like milk and meat products here. So, but let's say what usually works to bring with is like dry stuff. Like I always ask my friends to bring me waffles, and I feed on waffles sometimes. Okay, I want to give the sea cow a blanket here. Because actually this little folder here also says top priority and day plan. And okay, where were we? It's still October. Film quote from 51st Dates. It's October, it can't be May. In October, I am still planning to finish my first novel draft. That is about the same people like those who find the sea monster, but the sea monster is not there yet because it's still under the surface, and the people have to resolve a lot of themes of belonging and friendship and justice. What a pity that I haven't drawn my justice card for the Puffin Tarot yet. Yes, while I'm here with this little folder, what I find really practical is that the pad sticks in a little pouch, so I can actually exchange the pad when it's done. And yes, I am writing an intro letter to a person who seems like quite similar to me and quite similar to, let's say, one of the people whom I admire. I may write something in the letter about that. And of course, here I'm often pre-structuring the themes so I don't forget anything that I want to say. I'm not sponsored by this TV show, but I needed to cite it because person and I talked on the internet about good 80s and 90s shows. Partnership, okay, most people who know me know I don't have a partner, but this is always asked in pen friendships, and I thought to cite this like on the theme of belonging, on the theme of figuring out where I belong and what would work for me. And well, now I guess I'll stop the babbling and start writing. And because this little part of the writing folder here says top priority, it should be my top priority to okay, it's 7:30 now. I'm usually automatically falling asleep at 11, so I have like 3 hours until I have to get ready for bed. What can I do in 3 hours? It's like, yeah, 1 hour writing the letter, 1 hour the puffins, the puffin tarot that I'm designing. Okay, the world has seen better puffins to draw here. No, the tarot is not as crude, and 1 hour the book, with the poppies. So I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.